My name's Clare Williams and I'm the director of Mid Wales Opera's production of Noye's Fludde.
And I'm Mervyn Cousins and I'm working with the schools on all the music of Noye's Fludde.
And we thought today we would just give you a little bit of an overview of Noye's Fludde so that you'd begin to understand the role that you'll be playing in it.
And playing some tunes on the piano here just to give you an idea of the music you're going to sing and how it fits together.
So, in our production of Noye's Fludde, Noye is an environmental activist. He's a protester who has made the connection between climate change and deforestation. So he feels very, very passionately that we need to be good stewards of the planet. We need to look after the planet. And he's aware that the mass deforestation is causing appalling tsunamis and floods. Now, he has a series of followers and friends, and God speaks to him and tells him he must build a boat. Now, unfortunately, Noye has a wife, Mrs. Noye, and there's been a bit of a falling out between the two of them. She's very cynical about climate change. As far as she's concerned, climate change is a good thing because it means that she gets a better suntan.
I will not come there in today, for I enter in my say.
Now, Noye decides that he needs to take animals with him on the boat. He has to save the next generation. Now, in our production, Noye doesn't actually take animals with fluffy tails and ears, but he takes children whom he wants to save for the future of the planet. So imagine you, as the animals, as the children, are going to be woken in the middle of the night and told you're going to be taken to a safe place because of appalling flooding that is going to happen. So you wake up and you arrive at this strange place where this boat behind us here, is sitting, waiting to embark. And as you enter, you imagine that you're going on your first sleepover. You're very excited, you're full of trepidation, but you're also a little bit fearful because it's your first time away from home. So when you make your entrance, this is what you sing.
Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. And you do that lots and lots of times, and before you sing, there's a trumpet call which tells you to get ready. And there's lots and lots of groups of children that come down singing Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. And that repeats loads and loads of the times, and we give you a sort of code for the last time. You keep singing until you see this, so that means the last time round of Kyrie, Kyrie, Kyrie eleison. Some of you may well be asked to do the bit which is based on mice, so you might be asked to do a squeaky one like this, Kyrie, 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 Kyrie eleison. But you can do that much better than I can, I'm absolutely sure. So the normal tune, or the fast one that's squeaky, and that you do that as you get on the boat, past all the soloists, who Claire will probably tell you about in a minute, and that's your first bit of singing done.
So, as animals, you'll be in 7 groups. You don't need to worry about that at the moment. We'll put you in those 7 groups when we arrive at school. But for the minute, all you need to know is about your Kyries. So, you then go onto the boat, and just as you get onto the boat, the rain starts, and there's a terrible storm.
That's the first drops of rain, and then gradually it winds up. The orchestra gets going. Lots and lots of instruments, some you might expect, some you might not expect. And when it gets to the height of the storm,
you sing a hymn. And you sing a hymn called Eternal Father. And this is a hymn where you are praying that the storm will abate, that it'll go down and your lives will be saved. And some of you might recognise this hymn from chapel, but here's how it goes.
Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arm doth bind the restless wave, who bids the mighty ocean deep. And on it goes, and each verse has a chorus, and first verse is going to be in English, and then the next two will be in Welsh. I'll do the English one for now. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee, for those in peril on the sea. And during the first verse, the orchestra carries on. There's even a wind sound, and you have to sing right over the top of that to start quelling the storm. In the second verse, some of those instruments have disappeared. The storm's just gone down a bit. And by the third verse, if we get it right, you're winning over the storm and the orchestra, and there's only a few instruments left, still loud, but if we get that right, then the storm starts to subside. So the 3 verses, really effective.
And on stage at the same time, the whole area is filled with dancers who are being the waves. They're becoming waves, they're a whirlpool, and they're tossing the boat, and everybody on the boat is swinging and swaying. Your hymn works because the storm settles, the seas go down, and after 40 days and 40 nights, Noah decides to find out whether there's any dry land. So he sends out a raven. Now the raven is very, very sulky and rather bolshy. He doesn't want to go out, feels he has been chosen against his will. So he storms off, and guess what? He doesn't come back. Now, Noah realizes now that there must be dry land somewhere. So then he sends out a dove. The dove is a completely different kettle of fish. She's very keen, desperately wants to please Noah. So she sets off, flutters off over the seas, and sure enough, comes back with an olive branch. So she gives this to Noah, and Noah immediately recognizes that this is the sign of peace. God speaks to Noah once more and tells him now is the time to disembark from the boat, and all the children will join him to start a new world. Now this entrance is very important because I want you here to imagine that you're in the TARDIS. The TARDIS doors open up and you step out into a new world. It's a world where there is nothing. It's a world where all the colour has been rubbed out. So you step out into this place which is just white. There's no schools, there's no buildings, there's no streets, there are no trees, nothing. And you have now got the task where you have to start again. So as you pour out of the boat, you look around you and you're amazed that you've survived. So you're going to sing an Alleluia, and it goes like this.
You might have heard in the background while Claire was speaking, again the trumpets, this time very quietly call. And then when they've finished calling, you sing, Alleluia, Alleluia. And then the trumpets carry on, and you do it lots of times. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Lots and lots of times, actually. And what happens is each time gets slightly louder as you get more confident in your new surroundings, and slightly faster. And we have a special way of learning this. Your teachers might want to talk about exactly how long number of bars in the music there are, but we have a sort of formula, don't we? We have 5 Alleluias with long gaps. So the same tune, Alleluia, Alleluia, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the next one, 5 of those. Then there are 2 more with short gaps. Hallelujah, hallelujah. 2, 3, and straight in again. And then you divide off into 2 teams. One side of the stage does 5 more. And there's a second team on the other side of the stage. Would you like to sing?
Does 5 more? Probably not. I'll save you from that.
So it goes, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. So you've had 5 with long gaps, 2 with short gaps, and 5 in teams. And at the end of the last of those, in the second team, there's a great big orchestral sound. And then it goes, hallelujah, hallelujah, one last time. And the long one, we'll come back to that in a minute. Then there's a sort of crushed up one. Hallelujah. Then there's a short one. Hallelujah. And then there's a slow one. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And with that slow hallelujah, you take your animal, whether it be a tiger or the zebra or the dolphin or the parrot, and you lift it slowly up above your head as if you're making this offering to this new planet, as if you're saying, this is all I have in this new world, but I'm giving it to you. So you lift up your animal and at the same time you slowly turn so that you're facing the back of the theatre. Now God speaks to Noah again and tells him that as a token of his peace, he's going to put a rainbow in the sky. 7 beautiful umbrellas pop open, and at the final umbrella, when the violet umbrella comes out, you each do a great sigh and say, wow. And then starts a great celebration singing. Now, the first verse is sung by Noah's children.
The spacious firmament on high.
The second verse is sung by Noah.
The unwearied sun from day to day, and so forth.
And in the third verse, you turn round to face the audience to sing your verse, which goes like this.
Again, you get the trumpet call first. A new one. And you sing. Soon as the evening shades prevail, the moon takes up the wondrous tale, and nightly to the listening earth repeats the story of her birth.
And in the next verse, which is the fourth verse, you take from the pockets of your pyjamas or your dressing gowns a small torch. All the lights go down in the theatre, and you shine your torch into the audience, and it looks like the whole of the stage is filled with stars. And you sing this. So now we get to the end of the opera. That is our final hymn that you're going to sing. God speaks to Noah the final time.
Can I just say something about the
Yeah,
last verse
yeah.
of the hymn? The last 2 verses is a very slow verse. What though in solemn silence, as it starts. So you have to lots and lots and lots of breath for that. And then in the very last verse, just before Noah speaks, it's going to go into a round, and you're going to join in the round. So hopefully you'll be able to practice that with a bit of help from your teachers in school. We'll give you a group later on, but you might be able to just practice singing like this, just to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You might want to do it in Welsh, although one of the Welsh words, pedwar, doesn't fit very well, but you can fit it in and have a little practice in the rounds. The words for that are, in reason's ear they all rejoice. And all the orchestra joins in, the bells, and even a lot of mugs on a line hit by a wooden spoon, all sorts of things, and it's a great effect.
And then finally, God speaks to Noah, and he says, okay, my darling dear, he calls him, it's now over to you. It's now your planet. You now need to start again. So Noah takes the olive branch that's been given to him by the dove, and he places it very carefully in a terracotta pot, and he smooths the earth around the pot. He takes his watering can, he very slowly waters the plant to life. So that's Noah's Flood. We're really going to look forward to working with you.
And I think it'll be absolutely great. It will be hard work, but it'll be great fun hard work, and I can't believe that you won't be really proud of yourselves when you do it.
And so I'd ask you, please, 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 before we arrive, it would be great if you've learnt all your words, because then we can immediately start going in and doing all the drama. Look forward to seeing you then.
Yes, absolutely. We look forward to it, and see you soon.